Hi, this is Wayne Belisle. Welcome to another Smart Profit Maximizing Moment. My name, again, like I said, is Wayne Belisle. I'm a local CPA. I work with small business owners pretty much since I passed the CPA exam and a little before that, truthfully. So I've been doing this for 40 plus years. During that time, I've had a chance to work with thousands of business owners, learning what they do well and what they do right, and helping quite a few of them, thankfully, make more money. Sorry about that. It's a wonderful Wednesday. A little cold in here, so I'm going to leave my jacket on, and we, for whatever reason, turned the heater off. So got in this morning, it was chilly. One of the things that I don't think business owners, I know business owners don't spend enough time on, is taking care of their current customers and making sure that they come back more often. Remember, in an earlier video, we talked about how to increase sales from current customers. One of the things is to get them to come back more often and refer friends as a second one. And both of those require you to do a good job. Now, the only people not making mistakes aren't working. Customer service problems happen in every business. And most of the business owners I work with, truthfully, feel that it's just something that happens and you deal with it as it comes up and you solve it as best as you can. Now, as long as you're small and there's only a few of you, that works. Okay? But as the business grows and you're not the only one who's having contact with the customer, that no longer is a good solution. By the time it percolates up to you, a service problem percolates up to you, you may have lost that customer already. All right? So you need to have a system. All right? And like I said, the biggest problem I have is that the business owners, the employees, may not understand how important it is. And they don't have the same experience that you have. Since you started the business, you've more likely than not have quite a bit of experience in your industry and dealing with customers. And they don't have the same motivation as you do. You know how expensive it is to get a new customer. All right? So what happens? Unhappy customers and lost customers. All right? The key for you to understand is that all customer service problems, or at least most of them, occur repeatedly for a reason. All problems have specific causes and require specific solutions if you don't want them to reoccur. Now, hopefully, if you step in quickly, you can save that customer. But maybe not. But at least stop it from losing you another client or customer in the future. The first step to solving the problem is to track it. All right? Give you an example. For income tax preparation, I have a procedure where we review every return. Somebody prepares it, somebody else reviews it. That catches 95% of the errors, at least. All right. The other, I'd say, out of the 5% that are left, 4.5% or more of that group is found when we go over the return with the customer. All right, with the client. Truth of the matter is, almost all the time, it's a communication issue. We didn't understand something, or they didn't understand what we were asking for. They forgot to give us information. We forgot to ask for it. All right. One of the things that I saw, we track them. All right. Two things came to mind, and I'm going to give you a couple of different examples, but one in particular is most of our mistakes seem to happen 5 days before deadline. We're rushing too fast. We're not asking the right questions. We're tired because it's already been a long tax season. So one of the changes we made is we put a cutoff. After a certain date, you're probably not going to get your return done by the due date. And I explained this. It's like, we're running too fast, too hard. If we can get it done, we'll do our best, of course. But we would rather be right than wrong. And I understand this. Customers rush you, but they don't remember if you're a day or two late as much as they remember if you made a mistake. And they sure as heck don't remember that they rushed you in the first place. When I was at Coca-Cola, I had a staff. I was like I said, the controller and the CFO for a while. Had a staff of 35 to 40 people, and I wasn't the only one dealing with other departments or dealing with the customers. And I implemented something I call the hot ticket. All right, a hot ticket is a form that's designed to help the business owner. And it really does two things: helps the business owner track mistakes, but it also puts emphasis. Remember when I was talking about receivables? What the owner spends time on is what the employees see as something that he feels is important. All right. So as the owner, if you're spending time worrying about customer service problems and eliminating errors, after a while your staff starts to realize that's important and they better go along with it. A hot ticket was a simple one. It was kind of a half of an 8.5 by 11. cut in half, two forms, in other words, on one page, had a front and a back. Or if you want, you could have it on one page, just nothing on the back. We did the other way, and I had them at that time because it was a big enough company. I had them printed up. Now I'm not sure I would bother. I would probably do it online. The top half, this is what I would recommend you do. The date of the hot ticket was filled out. The customer name and the contact information, a description of the problem, how the problem was discovered, the name of the person who discovered it. This is an important part right here. How the problem affected the customer, all right? And how it was resolved to the customer's satisfaction. Or if it wasn't, it needs to have a note that the owner needs to step in. The date the problem was resolved, and the name of the employee who made a follow-up call. That was part of the process, is that within 24 hours of the problem, the call was made to them to ensure that the problem really was resolved and that the customer was happy with our response. That one extra step seriously made a big difference in keeping the customer, because they realized, okay, yes, we made a mistake. Yes, we fixed it, but then we followed up to make sure that they were fine with the fix and that they didn't have an additional problem. Notes on the follow-up. Okay, I already said that. The bottom half of the form, or the back, depending on how you design it, or if you do it online, whatever, the second part of the form is to be filled out by the owner or the manager. If you have multiple managers that you've delegated this to, then maybe you can have them do it. I would definitely have a copy sent to you after the manager fills out so you can review them. Is designed to root the purpose of this half is designed to root out the root. That's why I'm having trouble. Is designed to discover the root cause of the problem and to keep it from recurring. This is what I did, and this is what I would recommend. A description of what occurred and what the root cause of the problem was. Literally tons of reasons that it may occur. I'm going to list the 4 that I found to be the most common. The employee simply made a mistake. Tracking these will help you identify the employees that are being careless and handle a matter appropriately if you need to. Truth of the matter is, most times just letting the employee know that you're aware they made a mistake is more than enough, all right? The second part was maybe the employee, the second problem is sometimes the employee needs more training. Step in. That's your job as a manager, to make sure your employees are trained. The third thing is to make sure the employee has the proper tools. They may not have had the resources, the authority, or whatever to solve the problem or to prevent the problem, more likely. Maybe there's a hole in your procedures. We haven't talked about systems. We're going to. But maybe you need to go back and look and see if there was a hole in your procedures. Had one. A couple of years back, as I was tracking my errors, 3 of them had to do with pensions and rollovers. Not going to get into the law and all that garbage. But we basically recognized that it was really up to us to ask the question because the client's not going to know there's a problem there. So we added a question to the review process and to the organizer, we send out, but mainly to the review process and trained our employees to ask the question so that we could find out, because there was no way, there's a hole in the IRS form that doesn't really tell us what's going on. So, we need, and truthfully, to be honest, they couldn't figure it out either. We have to, the client is the only one that really knows what's going on. So we reviewed it, figured it out. We had 3 of those kind of errors 5 years ago, haven't had another one since, because we figured out this is an area that we really seriously need to look at. The next thing we'd have is the recommended solution that eliminates the root cause of the problem. Write it down. A note section to outline the new procedure or solution. When it was communicated to the responsible parties, in other words, when was the employee trained, when was the procedure put in place, when were people told about it. The form was completed and transferred to you, and the date you reviewed the form if you didn't actually fill out the second part, okay? If you're a small enough place and there's no middle manager between you and them, you don't need these last 2. The next thing I would do is, I added a section, is it necessary for somebody to contact the customer a second time? Does the manager need to step in? And I have done that, okay, where I've called them and said, hey, thank you for bringing this to our attention. It was something that, doesn't come up very often. We've found it. We've put procedures in place to make sure we catch this next time it happens. Remember, Problems occur repeatedly for a reason. All right, if you want to, being willing to do the work required to eliminate a customer service problem will give you the reputation as a business that can be trusted to deliver a quality product 99 to 100% of the time. You will also gain a reputation for fixing customer problems promptly in the rare instances they occur. That kind of reputation is what leads to repeat business and stops you from losing customers. It's much more expensive to get a new customer than it is to keep one happy. All right? Look, customer service problems are not something to just solve. There's something to get to the root cause and eliminate them, all right, so that they don't happen in the future. Until next time, this is Wayne Blau saying, let's make this our most profitable year ever. Thank you very much.